Welcome to Holdback Rack Podcast. My name is Jessica Hare. I operate Hare Hollow Farm, and we breed boas, balls, and select colubrids.
Hi, I'm Jana King. I operate ASM Royal Tails, and I breed high-end ball pythons.
We want to share our journey navigating herpetoculture and are dedicated to promoting biohazard safety for all species. And we would love you to answer the question, what's in your holdback rack?
Welcome to, is it episode 15?
Hell yeah, bitch.
Whoa!
I've also been drinking, so I don't know.
Oh, maybe
I've
I
been
should
more
crack
drinking
one
than
open.
ever before recently, so...
You got lots of reasons to drink. That's okay. I'm just getting over the Rona, so probably none for me. Unless you count Dayquil. All the Dayquil.
That might count. I'm not sure.
Some days
No,
it
I actually
does
took
count.
Dayquil. It was not as interesting as you claimed it to have been. I believe it was just a cough suppressant, a anti-inflammatory, and a
Dayquil and
acetaminophen.
ice. Sometimes we have a lot of fun together. I don't know what to tell you. It gets pretty freaky up in here. Must be. I'm not complaining.
So since the last podcast, we've had even more feedback. We won't
really
necessarily talk about it per se, but it's all been positive. So thank you to everyone who reached out in different ways.
I got crickets over here, so I haven't even heard the feedback.
Oh, well, it was just like good. People like the podcast and they thought we should keep doing whatever we want to do because that's fun for them.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
So
that's
shout
awesome.
out to all our buddies.
I was just going to say, are you going to shout them out by name? Because didn't we say we were going to if people
Did you say that?
Feedback? Did I say? What did I say? We should check.
You said something about shouting out someone.
I did. And now I can't remember what I promised. Dang it. Hang on. We recorded it.
It doesn't matter. It was off the top of my head, Brianna, Crystal, and Hogs USA, which I don't remember that. That's a couple. Ooh. I don't remember their name.
They started following me this week.
Yeah, I think they tapped into, I don't know if they've listened to everything, but they tapped in and they said they liked it. So I was like, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, they even messaged me and were like, thanks for being conscious of biosecurity. I think they messaged me on the post about my nido-positive little chicken nuggets.
It does feel like you're, speaking into the void, which is unfortunate. So anytime someone's like, I've received some value and it was good, I'm like, great. So thank you.
Yeah.
We don't need to be perfectly entertaining to every human who ever listens all the time, but just a little bit of value while you're having fun scraping urates. That's all we got. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I've heard from a couple of people that just in general were like, hey, I'm listening, like your podcast. Nothing specific, though, to the interview drama.
Yeah, well, I don't think that mattered to anybody else but the 5 people
but the few
who cared about it.
Yeah, that were real mad.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine.
Yeah.
Life's hard.
That's fine. Yeah, life is hard. Oh, well, not for everybody. And a shout out to Stone Age Pythons. He did a shout out for us on his Instagram Live, and he also listened to our episode. Thanks for listening. If you are not, please go.
Pythons. Where does he live?
He sells ball pythons in Oregon.
He has a YouTube channel also. I've watched some of his
YouTube. You can find him on YouTube with his daughter, and you can also find him on Instagram at Stone Age Ball Pythons.
I'm going to skip around my show notes because there's too many. But the first one I wanted to say, I don't know if you caught this, and I didn't tell you to catch it, but Brian Barczyk went to his first reptile show in 5 years or something this week.
It's on my list, but I think that's fantastic. He didn't feel safe going before because they beat him up at one, and it was really, really sad because he's been a big contributor to the hobby in general. And so the fact that he felt safe enough to go again,
it's actually big.
It's big.
I'm not a fan nor not fan of Brian Barczyk. I don't know if anybody cares. So I don't have a dog in the fight of should you defend or not defend Brian Barczyk, but I'm excited that he thought it was safe to return because that means that like the people he was antagonized by before maybe left the hobby, or they've apologized to each other privately, or whatever it takes to be more comfortable. And I think that's good.
I think that's great. I think that anybody who wants to go to a reptile show should be allowed to go and to feel safe. If someone's at a reptile show not feeling safe, we as a community have things we need to work on.
Yeah, and I think this is
no matter who they are.
Part of the transition from the market that existed from 2002 to 2014 or so, where it was much more cutthroat and aggressive, to the new market that is more community-based and sort of cooperative-based.
Yeah, cooperative-based.
He's feeling safer, I think, because of that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's on my to watch list. But I did see it, and I do know the history of that, and I thought that was significant, and I was really, really glad for him.
Mm-hmm. That's all. And then Morph Market changed they're doing a lot of stuff, so that's pretty cool. But they allowed you to change and detail exactly what payment methods you will accept to the T. Like if you'll take PayPal friends and family, but not PayPal goods and service, you can actually like define that clearly in your seller's profile. Did you take a look at that?
I haven't looked at it, but I have seen lots of response to that and people talking about it.
Right. There's been multiple posts again about PayPal takedowns, and
yes,
like
I think I'm going to move away from it entirely.
Should you do Venmo or whatever? And then everybody complains again 10 more times. So you still accept PayPal right now?
As of right now, I still accept PayPal, but I don't have anything on Morph Market, so that would be the only place really that I accepted PayPal. At shows, I do Square or Cash, and on my website, I think I'll be using Square because it's through Square. Zelle was a little cumbersome because they didn't love Apple products, and I'm an Apple, but luckily my husband's a PC, so I'm a Mac, not an Apple, a Mac. Anyway, so we could do it on our computer, our desk computer, and so I think Zelle might fall in there, even though it's a little bit cumbersome. But I think I will, in the next month or two, be setting myself up to no longer accept it in any form.
All of this is really hard, as usual, because it's complicated. And the best part about it, is people's perception of their survivorship bias as being evidence that it's not happening.
Don't look up. Don't look up. Woo!
Yeah. They're like, well, I've used it for 20 years and my account still exists. It's like, okay. But that doesn't mean that these other people's accounts who have been shut down and or seized and or failed in a dispute with a client didn't do everything correct also and then still had it shut down. That's called survivorship bias. It's the same thing with testing. Just because your collection exists perfectly doesn't mean it could have gone differently if the dice had been rolled a little bit different on one or two snakes on intake or whatever. So everybody needs to go back to high school and join debate club and learn about the cognitive biases that exist. And that is pedantic. And I apologize in advance.
No, she doesn't.
No, not really. No, yeah, and we all fall into our own like biases, and I have them too. Okay.
Oh yeah, everybody does. No matter, even if you're cognizant of bias and try hard, you're still going to have biases.
Right. You're a shitty monkey running a meat machine with your dumb monkey hardware brain. It is not that good at
in a place filled with other dumb monkeys.
Yeah, clearly deciding what to do or say at any one time. But in the case of this, we have a preponderance of evidence that PayPal does not want to treat our industry nicely. So I still have it because I use it for like I'll buy stuff online sometimes with PayPal that has nothing to do with live animal sales. So I want to use it as a user, but I don't want to use it as a business. Animal sale business.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll still use it for personal things, just for an extra layer of protection on my credit cards and stuff when I shop online, but as me, not as my business.
Right. And I do have a lot of people who still will accept PayPal as payment And so if they really wanted it, I'd give it to them. But I would urge everyone to pick something else.
I also try really hard not to have any funds in PayPal.
Yeah, so mine isn't even set up to have funds anymore. It must be automatically transferred. Like if you don't set it up, whatever. There's a different form you have to fill out. You can have it completely. It never even sits in there. So now, that would be a trigger.
Was there a story that somebody had it set up to their bank account and they seized their account and they froze their bank account? Is that a real thing that I read?
I've never read that.
That it was sucking funds out of their bank account that were in dispute when their account got froze.
Yes, maybe. Like maybe if it had already been transferred out, it sucked it back in.
So I don't know. I disconnected my bank account.
The answer is I don't know. But
it's all sketchy, man.
To me, you should not be accepting or sending, if you can help it, if the buyer will or the seller will let you through PayPal, in my opinion. But I still have a ton of sellers.
It's hard. Yes. They want PayPal, and they think if you don't accept PayPal that you're instantly a scammer. It doesn't matter how many referrals you have, how old your Instagram account is. It doesn't matter that you'll let them pick the other, whatever other venue that that they would like.
Yeah, or and there are an insane number of scammers, but they're almost all easily identifiable
within 5 minutes.
Yeah. So the people are getting tricked. We're not getting in front of them good enough or something to be like, hey, English is a second language, extra vet fees, a non-standardized shipping thing, a price that's 20 to 10% what it's supposed to be, the market value of.
Right.
Facebook accounts that are too young, Facebook accounts that have all the information removed and almost no pictures or location data, or Facebook accounts that have location data in Africa.
Yes.
Look for all those signs and more, especially poor English. Like really creative uses of the English language.
Very creative. Not to say that someone who is English as a second language can't be a legitimate seller, but they won't also have all the other
location
flags.
In Africa.
Yeah. So I know that they're taking crypto and NFTs. I watched a video on this, and it still made my brain hurt because I was still having trouble understanding crypto, and now we have NFTs, or maybe we've always had NFTs, and I'm just, that is not my world. Money is money, and all these
NFTs are
things.
Newish. The problem with NFTs is they don't mean anything but what you want them to mean. Like their value is only what you perceive it. They have no additional value unless the NFT is sold with some sort of perk. Like the people who want NFTs to mean something want to sell, I don't know, the image of a yacht. And the yacht allows you one virtual meeting with investors or something. And so your business could come up and be discussed with these investors at a virtual meeting on a virtual yacht that you bought the NFT for or something like that, right?
How do you buy the NFT? With an NFT or like
with money?
Okay, because that's what's USD. Confusing me is that you're giving someone.
Well, I lied. So USD, you have to use Ethereum. I'm pretty sure.
And they're giving you like a pretend, made up, pre-agreed upon thing, arbitrarily.
Digital thing. Yes. Image.
Yes. Okay. That. Okay. So I am understanding it. I just think I don't like it. It's not for me.
Right, but you also don't have the rights to that image. So if you're an artist, you sell the NFT of the image. That person does not have the rights to the image, like you would buy a stock photo or something to use in your business material or whatever. It's not like that. You're not buying the rights to use it. You're just buying the feeling someone gets when they look at it or whatever.
It's a little hokey to me. I don't know. Not something I'm going to be accepting. I watched a video on YouTube about how crypto and NFTs are the wave of the ball python future, and
this has come up in a couple places. That's why it's on the show notes.
Yeah, I've been seeing it too.
Will Banks and a couple other people are now accepting crypto for ball pythons.
Yep.
They have like Coinbase or whatever is their wallet, so you can check out. So that's sort of where this comes from. And then people are like, what NFT could you make out of a ball python? And so you could actually sell the NFT of both the image and the idea of the animal. Like, it's an image of the animal, but you could sell... It's not like a syndication of a racehorse, more like you're the number one fan of that snake or something stupid. I'm not making fun of you guys. I know you like NFTs. They're fun.
Cool. Not for me. They
Yeah.
are not for me.
No.
I will not be accepting crypto or NFTs.
The other part that's good is Crispy keeps having to take down NFTs that are like low res screenshots of her art. So if she was going to sell the NFT, it would be her because she's the rights holder to the original image.
People are selling NFTs that don't have the rights to her images.
Right. So they
Crazy.
are truly worthless NFTs then because there's no even like conferred relation to the original artwork or whatever. But just remember, snakes are all worth nothing also. It's all perception of value. So if people perceive a lot of zeros and ones as valuable, who are we to judge?
You're not wrong.
We breed snakes in boxes.
You're not wrong. Yes. Okay. I hear you, but I'm still not going to do that.
Yeah, it's okay. Nobody has to. So buying into a cryptocurrency is much more normal sounding to me because all fiat currencies are made up.
I get fired up. I feel like I need to go get myself a beer.
If you want another way to waste money, then converting into digital currency is fine.
No, I'm good at wasting money all without crypto.
Okay. Well,
plus
waste,
it's just
invest.
Crypto, and the crypto is a disease. I don't.
No,
I'll just stick with ball pythons.
All right.
Mystic Exotics. I did not catch that. Where was that?
On Instagram, she had a fire almost kill her collection. So she decided
maybe I did see that.
Yeah, I shared it in the Discord. If anybody wants a Discord invite, by the way, shoot me a message. Some of you are in but aren't very active.
I'm in but never active.
Right, it's been pretty dead. So I might make some new channels and delete some channels and rearrange some stuff to like get people excited again. The point is she was the big ovaries corn snake person who's been working on Miamis for a long time. She's in Spokane currently. She used to live on this side of the mountains, and I don't know when she moved. So she's like a Pacific Northwest local.
Oh, okay.
People will
have
snakes around here that are like her descendants, but she's like was too traumatized by the thought of her house burning down because of the snakes, and so she ended up moving some of the snakes, selling us some of them, and
so back up. She was all worried about a fire and started selling her collection, or she
a fire
actually
happened, and she caught it before it took over.
But then it like ruined her. So she sold some.
She sold some. She rehomed a large portion of her like best of the best with Sky Pony, one of the other girls who likes women. These are all women here. Sorry, Miami's a lot, and who already had some of her projects, and so she has like a place for them where the legacy can continue. But I was just like, whoa! It went from like 0 to traumatized pretty quickly, and I felt bad.
Yeah, I mean, you've experienced trauma while breeding, and so I think you connect with that.
Yeah, and she's been doing it for a long time, so it gives its own sort of like, you're like, oh, dang. She made it through for 10 years and then decided not to do it.
Maybe she's just taking a break. She'll come back, especially if she preserved her things with other people.
Right. And we won't talk much more about it now because we don't have time for all that, but there's a whole episode of like fire prevention, different heating strategies that would reduce the likelihood of fire.
I need to have that conversation before I move into my building because I want to make sure that it's really fire safe and fire conscious, other than, like good thermostats and, having smoke alarms and extinguishers and all that jazz. I love to talk about it in depth just before I get everything out there and set up. So I did not end up watching that MJ Trap Talk because you said I didn't need to and you just were going to comment on it.
There have been a lot of podcasts since we were actually talking about any of the podcasts. There was In Blue and MJ's got like 3 podcasts a week now. So
I know he's like cranking them out. I'm like, dude, I don't have enough hours to listen to you.
Yeah, which is fine. I
totally love him. He's fantastic. Not hating. Whoa, he is grinding.
I think he just decided, I don't know if you notice how he's doing it. He's doing like a big ball python breeder on Monday or Tuesday or whatever. The new breeders are on Monday. The big ball python breeders are on Thursday. And on Saturday mornings, he'll do like, somebody from Europe or Australia. So that it's like their nighttime and his morning. What I want to comment on, not just specifically about Ian, because Ian Basells has a great sort of history of good biosecurity testing, but maybe he was even like lamenting not testing sooner, being a little bit more reluctant about it in the podcast, is that MJ has been very reliably asking, not every guest, but every other guest, like, he doesn't go like, hey, are you testing? You're a bad person if you're not. But he's just like brings it up and he asks them where they're at. And it's surprising how many people are halfway there anyway. And they're starting to admit it on the podcast.
That's really exciting. I hadn't realized he was doing that.
Right. It's almost always at the end, which I don't think he's doing on purpose. It's just somebody brings up some sort of husbandry detail. And then he's like, hey, whatever. And then they talk about it.
How do you feel about this? Yeah. Good
Probably
for him.
More
That's
than
amazing.
us, he's going to be like normalizing it first because he has a bigger audience to begin with. So I was just like,
yeah, it's really
thank
exciting.
God for MJ.
Is MJ Is he a tester?
I don't know exactly. I don't want to say, but he has told me he tests many of his things for Nido already. I don't know if it's 100%. I don't know if it's every ball python. He tests live on his Instagram. He's done that a couple times.
Oh, really? I didn't know any of that. That's amazing.
I did talk to him about it, and he said he hasn't tested his boas for arena because he didn't know arena caused IBD, because nobody talks about arena for some reason even more than Nido. So I was like, you should probably test that too if you're going to already do it. He's used RAL and fish head. He mostly uses RAL because it's easier, and he just doesn't care, and he talks about it. So I'm like, great, Team MJ.
Team MJ, which we already were Team MJ because he's himself unabashedly. That's great.
Yeah. So they're down in Pomona right now having a big party. We're missing out.
I know. We are missing out. But you're going to be freaking moving. You can't be adding other things. Maybe in the fall we could meet up at Tinley or something.
Or Arlington, Texas.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like literally right by you.
Right.
Like 3 hours?
3 hours. I don't know if anybody cares. But so we're moving to Oklahoma. But like the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area, something about jackrabbits and tornadoes and stuff like that. Gross. But Arlington is as a suburb of the whatever. You know how Dallas-Fort Worth is like a metroplex, basically? Like you can drive for an hour and a half and you're still in Dallas. Kind of still. It's the same thing.
It just
Arlington
never
is right
ends.
beside it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
they just kind of smash into each other.
So I was like, Chris, what we're going to end up doing, because NARBC has Arlington, Tinley, and Schaumburg. Is that it? Is there another?
You're going to be down in Blessed Circle. The blessed circle of brotherhood where all the cool kids hang out.
Yeah, so this sort of leads into like
of your crappy Oklahoma move right now.
Like In Blue and all those people are all friends in the like Herps Show network.
Okay.
So there's also a Herp Show stop in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area too.
That's exciting.
So even if we can never sign up to vend Herps because the waiting list for vendors is 2 years long or something.
You hated vending anyway.
Yeah, I might not hate it as much if my neighbors didn't have mites.
Yeah, for sure.
Just saying. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But I'm like, oh, we live in the middle of nowhere, but we're 3 hours away from somewhere. So you could conceive of a getaway weekend where you go get a hotel. You're going to something in ARBC Arlington, which is about the size of Tinley in terms of...
Right. That's a big one.
It's basically another Tinley. And we'll just do Tinley type weekend. Have fun, go out to eat time and hang out and go home.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
No vending. Right.
I mean, I could bring a snake to like sell if somebody picked it up or whatever, but a way to have
No,
fun.
I would be snake children free.
Yeah. So
Unless I bought all the snakes there. You never
that
know.
was fun. I did listen to the second in blue today, just before recording. They hit some sort of stride on their second one, so that was more fun.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think that their guest, she was had a big personality that helped a lot. I would
Did you
like to
watch
see.
Corey before on Mutation Creations podcast?
No, I've never seen her. I mean, she's in our women breeders group on
Uh-huh.
Facebook. And so I've like talked with her casually on the group.
She's also been
And
on NPR, I think. And
okay, yeah, I hadn't
Modern
seen her. She's
Medusa. She's been around.
hilarious
Yeah.
and like totally seems like my kind of person. My favorite part of the whole episode was her talking about how she has kids on the spectrum and how ball pythons can be really calming, like sensory tools. Because I avidly believe that, especially with my kids. I have seen that. I express that, especially at shows and in other communities talking about kids on the spectrum. If you guys don't know, I have kids on the spectrum. It's not something that has been that I've seen other places or other people talking about. And it made me really excited that she feels that way also and is talking about it.
Yeah. I think maybe this is the desire of the podcast deep down inside, was to talk about people's personal relationships with animals less than, their business strategy or whatever.
Yeah.
From In Blue.
I did comment on their episode and suggested that they do a get to know you episode because
Right,
I
they
think
did skip over intros for themselves.
they skipped over intros, and so I feel like I'm getting to know these people that they're interviewing pretty decent, or they're asking things that I didn't know about them, or I'm getting newer information about they've done too. But they're doing a great job with that. But I think it would be a little bit of a better foundation if they did an interview of each other, so we can learn just a little bit more. We're learning, as I've done too, and you get little snippets of who they are. But I'm not in the circuit. I don't know these people. And so I don't know a whole lot about them. And they seem like they each have a story. Everybody has a story, and I think that they should stop and share that, and then keep going. I don't know. I think that they're doing a great thing. I love to see two women talking. I will continue to watch them and support them and comment and like and all that stuff. Just because I love it. I love seeing women in the hobby having a voice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the next 1, 2, 3, 4 things, which will be in the show notes, and we're not speaking about specifically. I'm just wanting to point out some things about them. Maybe a prediction list for the next 2 years. Because Bob Vu on Triple B TV...
I'm going to get out my notepad. Get out your notepad. She's going to say something profound.
No, probably not. This is not financial advice. I have no fiduciary responsibility to your well-being. It's also not medical advice. Also not veterinary advice. No, Bob Vu was talking about how anything over $2,000 was selling extremely quickly, and then everything else, meh. And then Sean Gray, like 2 or 3 Reptile Gumbos ago, was talking about people complaining to him that the market was softening. And they were having a little bit of a debate whether people go to shows to buy breeders or not, like breeding stock versus pet stock. And obviously Sean Gray would know, but Sean was on team people do go to buy it, but they only go to buy from very specific people that they know are going to have good stuff. So, and the other people were on team, most people go to a show to buy cheap stuff or like mid-tier stuff because they'd rather have their expensive stuff shipped to them directly instead of being exposed. So there was a little bit of a debate there. So if you want to go listen to that, links in the show notes. And
I
then
have not listened to it. I'm putting it on my to-do list.
Leviathan Snakes has an old video from September of 2021 about his perception of the market being a COVID baby and how he thinks things are doing. And so you should all go listen to all those things. And then there's a really old morph market discussion from 2019 about how the market is oversaturated in 2019. And then you can hear those people's opinions. And all of that is context for me making the most elaborate set of predictions of all time, which we will take to task in 1 year and see if I was wrong. Because I probably will be. But why not speculate wildly because that's what we're here for.
As we can.
So, does that all that make sense? I don't even know. I don't want to like talk about them in specifics per se, because right. Come up here. So
so you're just she's stating everybody that she has used these correlating
these
items to form her opinion,
including my own personal
forecast
experience from this year's sales too.
Okay.
So my forecast for the next year or two is a little bit bearish. So not too bearish, but a little bit bearish.
So you think it's going to be like a recession?
A little bit
from what we've been seeing. So your prediction is it's going to be scarcer sales.
Yes. It's not really that simple. Here's a really long explanation. One, we're in a really big inflation period in the overall economy because we've done a lot of quantitative easing. So that means the dollar is less and less valuable.
Yes.
Okay. So this year, and I don't know if you agree or not, because you didn't sell anything in the year 2020, but this year has already been weaker than 2020.
Okay.
Do you agree with that? You wouldn't know, I guess, because you bought.
I wouldn't have any idea. I bought.
So in 2020, if a snake wasn't nailed down, it was gone. It was sold. Doesn't matter what it looked like. Almost didn't matter the gender.
I was a buyer in 2020, and I impatient scarcity. Like you had to buy it even if it wasn't quite what you wanted because there wasn't going to be another one.
Right.
Scarcity.
So
yes, I did experience that.
Weaker sales to me.
The first half I felt like was still like that, but the second half has been more. I think as the 2020 baby boomers have produced a bunch of stuff, and they're not buying as much as they were.
Right. So, and this is always true for every season. The spring of every season is better for sales than the fall because everyone's competing in the same time period with the most animals.
Okay.
Right? But I also thought it was just weaker even in general. Like fall to fall comparisons, summer to summer comparisons, spring to spring comparisons.
Okay.
I
can't really weigh in on that.
Student loans are currently in deferment. They will probably continue to be deferred until after the midterm elections. They don't get deferred. A lot of people will start to have a really big burden to pay before then. This is a pro for the future. There are still lots of people who don't want to go back to work at a shitty job. So they are looking for passion businesses still.
Yes.
So this is a pro still. People don't want to go work somewhere shitty, so they'll still get into a hobby they love. 2023 will probably have no COVID restrictions at all. Like none. Anywhere. 2022 probably will a little bit, but even less than last summer.
Do you think after April, it's going to be a flu season type thing?
Yes, most pandemics take 3 years to become endemic. So this would be the last year of pandemic time. But by 2023, it'll be completely normalized again.
Okay.
This doesn't have anything to do with political stuff. This just has to do with selling snakes. Because if everyone is able to travel and go to restaurants and do everything they normally want to do, they will not want to buy as many snakes because they're busy traveling and doing whatever they want to do.
I agree.
Yeah. So
when you're sitting at home staring at how depressing life is, you're going to go on Morph Market and buy yourself a snake.
Right. And you won't have the excess money because your student loans have turned back on. There's no quantitative easing procedures. Your rent deferment isn't in place, etc. So
do you think as people who came in 2020 start to get out, do you think that it will stabilize again?
Yes, but we got to get through this year. We got to get through the fall of 2022. So people, if you're our listener, we love you. So we don't want you to quit. Don't quit this fall. I think this will be the hardest fall people have seen in a while because all of the, 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds with the 2020 COVID baby breeders are bringing to bear and breed this year will be producing this fall. So it'll be the biggest fall slump we've seen in years.
Okay.
So just don't quit. Just hold on to it.
Ride it out.
Hold on to it till the spring and you'll be fine. This is what I'm saying. So it's bearish in that this will be the hardest cohort to survive.
Stock up on your frozen thawed mice for your hatchlings and just feed them all
Right.
winter.
Wholesale
And
the males early and
then
quickly and keep the females because they'll sell in the spring eventually.
okay,
So
that's great advice.
Bob Vu was very specific. He was like, stuff only stuff over $2,000 is blazing hot because everyone that came in has gotten smart and is like, oh, I should only be investing in investment quality animals.
Yes,
But that means
I
he's
have
seeing
experienced that. Right.
softness in even like the mid quality animals. And
Well, even at the reptile show that I just did, normally I sell the 200 and under sell out. And I was selling all of my higher quality, nicer males.
were they two breeders or just people who like bananas?
I know you think it was just because they were all bananas, but I think all of them were breeders as
Okay.
well.
All right. Yeah.
Like little breeders, not like big, have a name and a logo or anything like that, but like local people that have, 10 or more snakes and consider themselves a breeder.
Right. And I did do
But
some price checking because we've had some arguments on whether het desert ghost prices are crashing or not.
we have had some arguments.
And to me, they're still not. Like a normal het DG is still $250. And like
Okay,
the less
but
exciting jean spider and lesser in pastel
for
will be,
like 6 months, you could not get any het DG under $1,000 because there weren't any on the market. Like, so that looked like the price has crashed, but there was no like straight het DGs. No one was either selling or they were selling so fast that you weren't seeing them. Does that make sense? Like, if
sure.
you were,
I
because I was watching
wasn't
Morph
looking at
Market.
that one that much, but
I was watching it like daily, trying to find any het DG at any age to throw in my rack because I have a visual DG male and I had no females, het, visual, or otherwise, in May, June. And I was
those are
like,
the months you
crap.
can't buy them anyway.
So, but like May through September, if you would go onto Morph Market and you would click DG or het DG and you would put like cheapest or whatever, there was nothing under $1,000.
Okay. I just think so. To me, that feels like mostly.
That doesn't mean that the
that's
price
just the
changed.
trajectory of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's
now
all.
you can go and you can find all kinds of stuff for
Yes.
under 500.
Yes. And then so in the year 2020, bananas started out in the spring at $250 and then slowly trickled down to $150 by the end of the fall. And then as the 150 bananas disappeared, they like rose back up again in the spring, and then male bananas, single gene. And so that is still true. But the beginning price this year was lower than it was last year. It didn't spend as much time at 250. So that's how it's weaker. It's not like it's almost like a normal year. It's like 2021 is 2019 all over again.
Okay.
So,
and 2020 was just like a crazy COVID.
Yes. And that was
pandemic,
what Sean Gray was
insanity.
arguing in his podcast. And I agree. So like we went back to a
Okay,
normal
I'm going to
year.
listen to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't talk about it too long, but that like 5 minutes was like gold. I was like, let me hear some more.
Yeah, it did feel different this fall as to last fall from a buyer's standpoint.
Right, stuff sat on longer. You could think about it longer.
Right.
Whatever. And then that's not to say 19 or 2021 were that bad ever. The worst years were 14, 13, and 12, apparently. Because that was like post, everybody just stacked as many genes as possible. And then we were like all confused about what the market was going to be. And then they started to lift it up as like, oh, you need combos on recessives as the new platform.
Okay.
So if you go back to really old morph market, like stuff sold in 2017 and 2016 and 2018, those prices are lower than they were in 2019. So the market was on a trajectory up even in 2019 as it was recovering from 2014, in my opinion. So like there are like single gene GHIs and stuff for $30 females. that were posted
What?
in 2017 because people were like, fuck, this market sucks. I'm leaving. Yeah, we've been doing better for a long time. 2020 was red hot. This is still better. I'm just saying the people who experienced a world of better will probably be like, what's happening this fall? I'm going to encourage you to stay positive because it's just going to seem crazy.
It's the normal seasonal drift of the hobby.
Right, but I think it'll be extra worse because all of the 2020s, that cohort will be bringing a lot of animals to market all at once.
Yeah. There's a lot of us now.
A bunch of stuff all at once, and they were going to breed all of it this year for next year.
All my stuff is getting close. It's like 1,200 grams-ish. All the stuff I bought when I first came in.
So my prediction only applies to 2022, but I think we'll have a sort of slumpy time in 2023 also because the pandemic is ending. So people will be like, okay, I'm going to spend my $5,000 on a Caribbean cruise.
My sister's been trying.
Less people starting to replace the people who get out from the before. So just like tough all that out.
My sister's been trying to do a cruise since the pandemic hit. They were supposed to go on their cruise May 2020. And then it got rescheduled to like May 2021. And then it got rescheduled. And I think April, maybe March of this year. And that they're already like, yeah, Omicron.
I don't know when they should schedule a cruise, but I would probably not assume a cruise will happen successfully until 2023, to me.
Yeah. I mean, it just sucks, though, that she's...
Right, she wanted to do it.
She wanted to do it. It was her 50th birthday gift to herself. And birthday has come and gone.
Aww, good effort.
Yeah, good effort, though.
And then to summarize, we obviously know ball pythons and other snakes are great pets for condos and apartments, small houses that don't require a lot of care and attention. So they're still like a growing pet sector, which they have been for a long time. So USARKS does a great job, but they're mostly working on bans in very specific ways and places. So they don't have time or money to do like local bans and stuff like that. So it's my prediction that all reptiles will be legal as pets in 50 years if things aren't substantially different.
Illegal?
Illegal.
Wow, okay.
To me, we're not on a trajectory of saving the hobby right this second. Sorry.
Okay. Retire in 45 years. Got it.
We'll be dead by then. Because we'll be dead by then.
In 45 years?
Yeah, so 70, 80.
Oh, that's true. Gosh,
dead or dying or like completely incapacitated by Alzheimer's in a fucking old lady's home.
I forget I'm not 18 perpetually, as I still feel 18.
I mean, unless we can be like uploaded to the meta servers, our brains, then we'll live forever.
It's totally gonna be a thing. Ew. All right.
But
plug me into the Matrix.
The way to stop that is to try hard to have a business that is focused on both investment quality animals and good pet animals. So animals that are beautiful, healthy as in not full of diseases, and put them in the hands of children that love them and will take care of them. Because that's how you convince another 100 years of pet keeping to happen. It doesn't happen by all of us selling TG clowns to each other. Because that's not how you like build the business. Phoenix Reptiles, Bill Stiegel, he's like somewhat famous for having $5,000 chondros and $200 bananas, and he's just as happy to put either one in your hand because they both serve different purposes. So,
absolutely.
So collections should be built that way. It is difficult to sell pets to pet people, but you have to do it, otherwise there's no hobby. So someone should be doing it. Good job. That'll give us another 100 years, maybe. Then I have predictions about the water wars and the metaverse becoming self-aware. And then some stuff happens, and then the heat death of the universe. The end.
Yay, the polar ice caps melted.
No, the whole universe is going to turn into
the universe.
Dust. A couple billion years. It'll be fine. That's it.
It'll rebuild itself. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
will be
My,
specks
my
in the dust.
My main point is don't give up because falls are difficult. Invariably, they're always more difficult than springs or summers. But
Springs and summers are hopeful. Falls are like you're in the brutal trenches and you're starting the next season's breeding and you're feeding, 100 hatchlings. I mean, falls are just going to be brutal by nature of the beast, in my opinion.
Right, but that's when most people are posting. Like September 1st was the post of that morph market thing where the ball python market is oversaturated. And that's the whole point. Is like that conversation comes up every year in September, October, November. And everyone's like, what do we do? What have we done?
Why did I make all these animals?
I mean, there is like a question there, like, did you make animals that will have a home? Maybe not. Maybe they shouldn't all have spider because not everybody wants a spider. Even as
I am seeing as you have predicted, because in 2020 when it was like buy anything even if it's not nailed down, all of us boomers didn't understand that it's like spider lowered the cost of everything. It just looks cool and it's cheap, and so of course you come into the hobby and everybody's trying to offload their spiders to you, and such is the transition of the hobby. As you grow and realize you offload your spider breeders to those who coming in. This is like, I don't know, freshman hazing, I guess. And so anything that wasn't nailed down was being sold. But now, if you watch, even in times when everything's selling out, you sift through the bottom under 1,000 snakes, $1,000 snakes, you're going to find most of them have what's left over during the
it's a lot of spider,
May season. It's a lot of spider and
pastel, like the genes that people cinnamon, the genes that people have decided for whatever reason, even though those things can be in beautiful combos.
Correct.
But those are like desirable,
the
genes.
Yeah. Yes, I did see a lot of that, and it was eye opening because, like I said, when I had come in, if it wasn't nailed down, it didn't matter if it had spider, and if it wasn't nailed down,
just get what
it was gone. So
yeah, it's fine. All of it's fine, but maybe it's okay if like the person who finally has that bumblebee rehomes it to a home that's not going to breed it. Like this, it's fine. We don't need
some of my spider breeder females went to pet homes because they wanted a fully grown, adult, beautiful snake, and they are that. And so, yeah, I don't know. Spider will always make me a little sad and a little happy inside. I don't know. I'm having big feelings about it.
Yeah. Do you have a collection update?
So I kind of said this in the beginning, my Nido positive pair, that is in its own isolated rack all by itself. They are due any day now. I think she's at day 33. She doesn't look very good, which is how my other one looked right before she laid and then died 2 weeks later. So I do plan to humanely euthanize her after she lays, so she doesn't have to slowly die. But they're gonna lay, and I think that's gonna be my first clutch of the season, which is, I don't know. Like I said, I have big feelings about it, but that's gonna happen, and then I won't have any reason to not euthanize my favorite snake. My clown ovulated, and the pairing is sugarhead clown to clown. And she's really big, so when I ultrasounded her, she had so many follicles. I have no idea if that will mean that she'll have a lot of eggs. This is my first season with an ultrasound, but she's humongous, and I'm really excited about that clutch. I am hoping to get a lot of everything. A lot of sugar clowns, sugarhead clowns, whatever. Just all the sugar, man. And I bought 4 snakes already this year.
Remember when you said you weren't going to buy anything?
I do remember
a breeder male Kiki and a breeder Clownpied.
Okay, so one of the 3 is one of the males that I stated I was going to buy, and he's still not shipped out because it's cold in the Northeast. But And the guy gave me a really good deal and then gave me like a really good deal if I threw in a female pied head clown. So that's why there's two in that order because I was still under budget with those and I got two. So I'm happy with that. And then locally I got a calico genetic stripe which will play really nicely into my Kiki project, which I plan to have heavily influenced by calico. And I picked up a pastel clown breeder girl that I need to test in the morning, but I'm hopeful. They only had a few snakes. They've had her whole life. They even had the information from the breeder and like their email exchange, and her markings match the photo from that breeder, and she looks to be in really good health. And so I'm hopeful. It was a really big roll of the dice because she did not come with a Nido guarantee, but who doesn't want another breeder clown? As long as she's tests out negative, I'm going to be happy.
If she doesn't test out negative, are you? Obviously, you're gonna be sad, but like, will you keep doing this kind of thing, or do you think you just?
But I think my
What kind of
my luck
psychological?
will have run out. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. My husband and I had a whole conversation about it, and that was kind of the answer I gave him too. So, rolling the dice, taking a big fat gamble. It's not like I could breed her to. I mean, like I can't. I don't know. So, big balls. Jana is swinging for the fences.
Okay. To me, I mean, I think you can tell it makes me pretty uncomfortable.
Absolutely,
But
I know it
you're
makes you
doing it
uncomfortable.
for yourself, so that's your choice, and that people's comfort levels will vary wildly, so that's fine.
No, I'm surprised she hasn't unfriended me, guys.
Sometimes taking a risk is fine. Like basically every corn snake I've ever bought, I didn't tell them I was going to test, and I didn't expect, even if it's positive, for them to refund me because they cost not enough money. So I was basically rolling the dice every time on like a calculated, like it cost $150. Oh,
Right.
whatever. But I'm just like reluctant with, there was that girl who had a green tree python test negative 4 times, and it tested positive the fifth time after 4 years. So the more I hear stuff like that, I'm like, I'm tired of all these buy-ins of snakes. I don't want to buy any snakes. I want to have snakes born, coming right out of the oviduct into a pure and beautiful boop. Then I know they're clean and beautiful forever. That's all. This is non-judgmental. It's just a me
I don't
thing.
feel judged. I don't feel
I'm so
judged. It's fine.
sensitive. So sensitive.
I
But
know.
scared money don't make money. So if they all work out as they have so far, it's okay. But some of them will, by
Right.
definition, will not work out eventually. So you have to decide how you feel about that one day.
Right.
Or if the first test is a negative and it's just actually positive, and you don't find that out till 6 months from now or something.
Right. When she
Right.
lays and looks crappy and you test her for the third time and you're like, well, now that whole project's tainted. I'm testing. I try to have biosecurity. Am I making the best, super smartest choices? From a biosecurity standpoint, no. No, I'm not.
Right.
But I also know myself and know that I don't think that I function well living scared and living anxious. And maybe that's what it takes to have a completely contained, you came fresh out of your oviduct biosecurity. Like maybe I am doing it wrong. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong. But if I live in constant fear and never buy snakes ever, is that going to suck it all out? All the joy or reasons that I'm here? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know either. Life's hard because I think maybe what's more weird about it to me is you're buying older stuff. If you were just buying babies of like high end babies, I'd be like, sure, sure. It's just like
Right.
there's obviously a comfort level and a risk continuum, and each person comes to the table with a different tolerance. People don't test their collections. And I think, well, we might think that's dumb. It's fine. You know, lots of people don't test their collections. But I would still probably buy from them with a guarantee, too, for on a baby, right? Because it's like,
Right.
there's lots of perfectly nice, reasonable people who don't test their collections.
I think in general, you don't buy adults. Is that correct? In general, you buy babies that are guaranteed.
I try to.
Okay.
I've refined my position. I've had many positions, all of them wrong.
I mean, there is going to be, it is called a gamble. There is going to be a point where my luck will run out and I'll be like, why did I do that? And maybe I'll reevaluate at that point. I mean, I certainly am at the point where I should not be.
Oh, no, Kitty, stop. Oh, maybe
I thought she was talking to me.
Maybe
she's got a cat. She's got a cat in her lap, people. I totally thought she was talking to me too. I mean, wow, yeah. Get out of here! It's pillow talk time. I mean, this is the point where I shouldn't be buying anymore, and
right. It's the like your collection is worth X amount. So is it worth the potential gain in the gamble? And obviously, that's totally personal.
Right. It's a business decision.
Yeah, I think everything's okay in life. I just don't know when you do stuff. I'm just like, okay, Jana.
Okay, girl. That's why you keep me around. I keep it interesting.
You crazy?
Yeah. No, I knew you were gonna like totally roll your eyes and be like, "You, girl, you just do you." I mean, like, come on. I bought that huge collection. No guarantees.
I know, you're crazy as fuck. The whole thing could have been fucked. It could have been. It also was mostly fine. So like,
it's also mostly fine. So yeah. I mean, like,
I think, so like, if I would not buy an adult green street python without an explicit testing guarantee ever, under any circumstance, ever.
Right.
No matter how much, $5. I don't give a shit. Disgusting. And green trees roll worse, and they breed worse infected. Right.
Right.
They were just like, ugh. Most of them don't do great. But ball pythons seem to do, this is not an excuse for not testing, a little bit better. A little bit better. Some of them roll. Some don't ever roll. Some of them just keep going.
Yeah, my favorite snake, he's fine. He's totally fine.
Right.
He's fine. He's in exactly the exact same state as he has always been. He's still friendly. He's still, like, every time I go in there, he's like, hey, let's hang out. And I'm like, don't touch me. Here's the hook. You know, like, I'm going to tongue out your water. Like, and, like, try to keep him in his cage. I mean, like, he's totally fine. He eats every 2 weeks. Totally fine. But, like I said, the one who's gravid, Karen, which is hilarious. My Nido snake is named Karen.
Ooh, burn.
Anyway, so she is starting to look like she's not displaying any symptoms, but like I watched this happen with my other snake that died from Nido after laying a clutch. And she's right towards the end. The other one was looking like really skinny. And I was like, is she going to lay a whole clutch of slugs? Like what? Because that's not how my other snakes had looked. And then after she laid, I was like, she just looks really bad. And she started to do that, like almost dehydrated, like where they're starting, like their skin is starting to like hang off, but she's not dehydrated. Her humidity is perfect. But the other one started doing that too. And so, I don't know. It's interesting that some can be totally fine. How long does the other person maintain their Nido?
4 years.
Collection? 4 years, yeah. And I honestly believe that, I'm not a vet and I don't have x-ray vision, so I don't know what goes on. They have seen that it harms them on the inside. But from the outside, I honestly believe that my snake would be fine. But does that mean that you should have a Nido positive colony? That's a choice you should make for yourself. I'm not going to continue to do that, but I have kept him because euthanizing him is going to be very hard. And there's no reason to euthanize him if I have another Nido positive that I'm waiting to lay. And so it makes no difference if there's 2 of them versus 1 of them, if that makes sense.
Do you have a friend or somebody you would consider rehoming him to like a convalescent home type action, where
So
the
I
condition would be he
since
would be euthanized if he ever becomes symptomatic or shows pain
I
or
have
something.
heavily considered this because he is such a friendly, such an outgoing, such a fantastic snake. I heavily considered this, but I think that the only way that I could feel like I'm responsible or being responsible is it doesn't matter like someone's best intentions and you can explain all about biosecurity and hey, this is your only reptile that you can have because he has nido and he can give to other reptiles. It doesn't matter how intelligent they are on the subject, putting it into a pet home with just that snake, things change. What if they break up with their boyfriend or they get a divorce or they lose their job and they're like, oh, I'm just going to sell it. And they're like, oh, yeah, hey, by the way, it has Nido. Maybe they remember to say that or they don't. Or, even if I'm like, oh, if you change your mind, I need it back. You're like, there's just, you don't have control over the extenuating circumstances. And so for me, the most responsible thing is to not unknowingly have that go back out into the ball python community. Because he's a very beautiful snake, and yes, he's a spider, but people who are just entering the community who aren't knowledgeable about disease testing and aren't knowledgeable about spider, he's very beautiful and he's very friendly and he has very bright colorings. He's not the brown spider, he's very orange. And so I could just really see how, even with the best of intentions, I could put him in a home and that's out of my control, and someone else could, I don't know, bring it over to their friend's house and be like, hey, look at this cool snake and infect the reptiles or something. I just don't feel like it's a safe or responsible thing to do. So we have chosen to euthanize.
Yeah, it's fine. I do think people have brought it up in other places.
I've been asked to find him a home rather than euthanize him because he has 0 symptoms. He has 3 positive tests. So he definitely has it.
Sounds like he's got it.
So I was very thorough with him because he's my favorite, but he definitely has it, whether or not he has any symptoms. And he definitely is contagious because anybody that has it is, but his girlfriend, who I'm really sure he gave it to, because if you follow the path of where it was in my colony and the breed groups, he gave it to her when they were breeding. So, I mean, it's just like, it's hard. It's a personal choice. I can't tell you what to do with your collection. I thought that I was going to be that person that had the collection for 4 years and was going to get him his own awesome little bioactive that he could crawl around in and be happy all by himself. But that hasn't been how I feel about it now. 6 months later, I feel completely different. I feel really bad for him. His quality of life sucks. Literally, I interact with that. I have a special day and I don't interact with anything else on that day. And they get cleaned and watered. And like I said, I'm opening it up and I'm like, you get to stay in there. And he wants to just come out. And it's been a terrible,
right. I'm not arguing for you to do anything, but I think if somebody out there
I'm trying to
wants to open a convalescent home for
Nido positive snakes
or arena positive boas, which live even better and even longer.
Yeah, I mean, if there was like a situation like that, but even you have said that there are multiple strains of Nido, and if you mix different strains of Nido, that's when the bad fireworks happen. And so
right. I don't think they would have to sequence every positive they have and determine which flavors are floating around and have them share rooms by flavor.
Yeah, I think that's just, for me personally, I just think the right thing to do is euthanasia. And it's not what everybody's going to get to, and no judgment on what people do as long as they keep their other snakes safe from those snakes. It's your decision, or they don't pass those snakes on to someone else.
Yeah, don't those people out there like to sell Nido positives.
Downsizing my collection. Here, buy this snake. Yeah, no, just don't do that. And whatever you do is your choice. As
sell
long as
Nido positives knowingly If you don't know,
Right,
then
right.
obviously I'm not saying fuck you, because why would you know?
Right.
But there are
Right.
people
No,
who
people
100%
who
know.
find it in their colonies or have some die, and then they're like, I'm getting out of the hobby.
Or I'm
Come
still
buy
in
all
the
my
hobby.
50 breeders. Yeah.
It's not funny. It's terrible. It happens all the time,
terrible.
everybody. Okay. All right, yeah.
Anyways.
That's all. My collection update is I have one boa ovulation, and I dropped a tub of a female ball python and a male on the floor, and they went everywhere. And I'm a bad keeper.
What?
The end. They're both fine,
Two
by
tubs?
the way. No,
or
just
you
like
dropped one
a
tub with
breeding
2 snakes
pair,
in it.
and I was like, oh, whoopsie. It was bad. Don't do that.
Oh, and you're like really paranoid about things touching the ground.
The floor is full of lava.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. You were probably having a heart attack.
Yeah, I was like, Chris, I gotta start drinking. We're drinking now. We're drinking tomorrow. We're drinking the next day.
Yeah.
Not on top.
All right.
So
boa ovulation. Are you gonna share which pair it is?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it the IMG? Is it the IMG?
No.
Is it the IMG pair?
No, it was the fire hypo to the Jablonski super stripe het.
Oh, I don't care. I want to know about the IMG. I mean, congratulations. Yeah. That's amazing.
Doesn't matter. Boas, it's always like, surprise slugs or surprise babies, or, you don't get to know.
It's not specifically like with ball pythons.
What do you mean? I just mean
like you see ovulation and you know when she's gonna lay.
Oh yeah, well you can determine the date, but I mean like surprise as the contents of the ovulation.
Oh yeah.
Just like with a ball python,
reptile breeding in general. Yeah.
Right, but so usually when there's like a sluggy litter, they won't act as pregnant at the end of their term because the babies aren't communicating with them because there are no babies. It's just slugs.
Okay.
So the babies, they tell their mom, when they're ready to be born, and they obviously do oxygen exchange through her blood, just like mammals do. So there's a little bit of back and forth there. So you can sort of tell if she's going to slug out or not. But the hard part is if she's like a high percent slug, she'll usually go into preterm labor anyway. And so any viable babies that were mixed in there will die because they were preterm. Yeah, boas, they'll get you.
Yeah, that sounds complicated.
No, but her ovulation looks normal. She looks fine. We'll see how things go.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. I didn't contribute materially to them having this.
That's not true. You put him in there.
But I did.
You helped him along.
But I did. Yeah.
You were like the
wingman. The fluffer.
A fluffer. Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Yeah, we've done lots of corn snake pairings. We got lots of corn's locks, but it's not far enough along to have.
Have your shed?
Corn eggs? Yes.
I need to check. My 2 of mine, 1 male and 1 female, were in shed on feeding day. It's been a rough week, so they haven't been as watched as they probably should be. So 2 of them are in shed, and the other one, I can't tell if she's in shed. Take that how you will. I don't know. She got all grainy, but her eyes didn't go blue. Now she looks normal, but there's no shed. King snakes, man. Whoa.
A bunch of my young males did not want to breed, so a lot of the pairings that I wanted to happen are not happening. And then, so I have males going to way too many females now. So that's
okay. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's all right.
So now, can you try multiple times, or you just have this window, the 2-week window after they shed? I
pair them every 3 or 4 or 5 days until she ovulates, or I see her post ovulation shed if I missed it. So they get 2 or 3 locks.
Okay.
In that month or whatever time. And 1 lock could be enough, but usually get better for fertility with more. So the male is he would normally see females every 3 or 4 days. Now it's 5 or 6 days because he has to see other females.
Okay. I think when the other 2 shed,
he's
yeah,
fuck, bitch, I can't have sex with this many people.
I need the night off. I have a headache. Where's my beer?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. It's Spike Spiegel, my high color shatter male? Have you seen him?
Shatter. Oh, I think I have, but I don't. I mean, you post a lot of snakes.
I have a lot of snakes. I have a
You
lot of
post a,
snakes.
you post a lot of corn snakes, and I can't always tell them apart.
That's okay. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of Miami Okatee going on over there that I am like, that's totally the same snake, right?
sometimes I am posting the same snake, so that might be part of your confusion. The thing is, you haven't memorized their names that I've given them, so none of it matters. The point is, there's a snake
Still
who
working
was
on
only supposed
on
to
the
have
boa
3
names.
females, but now has 6 females, basically.
That was a lot for a little guy.
Yeah, they usually don't even breed that many. I mean, he's a big adult, so he's getting fed a lot. And he's
I was
hanging
gonna say colubrids are a little bit different than the ball pythons that way, don't they? Normally, isn't it usually like a trio? Is usually
So a
two
young
or
male
three.
can do 2 or 3, and then an older male might do 5 or 6. But rarely do people do that for whatever reason. I think it's just because they don't need to, and it can burn them out. I'm just gonna have to use my backup male that was the primary male last year and give him some females that I wouldn't have normally given him. I have a backup male because a backup male is important, and he will do stuff, and it's fine. I will those little baby boy males. I'll use them next year, or after this ovulation, if someone wants the double clutch, I could try the little
yeah,
male
I forgot
in
about
2
the
or
double
3
clutch
months.
thing.
Yeah. You can't guarantee the genetics then, because she could be retaining sperm from the first male.
Okay,
But if you can, choose wisely the pairing, you might be able to get him to sire some of the second clutch.
that's really cool. I only have one male colubrid, so it doesn't matter. I just had forgotten the double clutch thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long week. So I did want to talk to you about the benefits and or I don't know, the drawbacks of if I should purchase a clown het G-stripe 2021 because I missed 2021 Kikis. And I probably won't be able to purchase a Kiki until September, October-ish. Not for funds reasons, but availability.
I don't know if you should pick that male, the one you sent me, but in general, yes. Because you're already experiencing male clown fatigue.
Yes, I need another male clown
and maybe
so bad.
This male clown might pick up the end of your this season if you get him soon and get him to 500 grams in 3 or 4 months. Because he's maybe already 200 or 300 grams as it is. I don't know how much he weighs or when he was born last year.
So there are 2 on there that I am assuming are the last of the season. One is normal clown at G-stripe, and the other one is black pewter at G-stripe. And it's not my favorite to have pastel in a male. I try to avoid it. But then again, I hesitated on the Kiki because I had lesser. And then I have been kicking myself for 3 months.
What month was he born?
That's a great question.
He'd be more better if he was born in June.
Like
than
early
if he was
in
born
the year.
November. I'd be like, June sounds great.
So
my little banana
is
chicken nugget was born in June and is the size of a thimble that Thumbelina wears on her pinky finger. So
you don't think he's going to catch any at the end of the season?
No, he's extremely small. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, see, most of
the stuff that
my little
I bought
chicken nugget
over
guys.
the summer is 300 or 400 grams because I feed it once a week. So those ones could. So if yours is 200 or 300 grams, then
because I have a couple of chicken nuggets. My spot nose yellow belly het clown was only 200 grams. I'm really sad about that.
Mine's getting big. Mine's 400 something.
Maybe I need to feed him bigger.
I've been giving him rat pups that are significantly sized, I guess is the way to put it. So he gets his choice.
Mine's having like a large mouse. But I probably should switch to like large rat pups or small weens. He's probably too little for weans.
Yeah, I wouldn't feed mine weans at 400 grams.
He's like super little. He's a great eater. He's never missed a meal for me. Eats frozen thawed. Great eater. I think I'll just maybe try a jumbo. Do you think he's? Well, I'll look at him.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, the stuff that was sold to me early in the summer is potentially breedable in 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, my Leo yellow belly banana genetic stripe. He's 450.
Yeah,
And I
so
got
he
him in
could
September.
potentially pick up. So if this clown little male you're considering has the dual utility of next year as a Kiki substitute if a Kiki doesn't appear, and a clown pickup male for this year, then he's like double worth it.
So there is no month and there is no weight.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I would ask then and let that be part of your consideration process.
Yeah, I'll do that after the podcast. But still, my thing is that it's like a $3,500 investment into it. I mean, I need a clown male, but if you're budgeting at $300 or $3,500 for a clown male, the other clowns in his class that are not het for G stripe
Are cooler.
are cooler.
I know. Well, what do you want more? Kiki combos or cool clown combos? That's just a priority question.
Well, why can't I have both?
Because nobody's made those combos yet, that's all.
I know, but is it
Don't
like?
you think if
But
you
it
found
is
like a Cypress yellow belly het G stripe, that would be a $10,000. Sorry, Cypress yellow belly clown het G stripe. That'd be a $10,000 snake, if it even existed, because those are like hot combo colors.
yeah,
Hot double. It wouldn't even be 3,500. Is I guess my point. It probably wouldn't be 10,000. It'd probably be 5,000.
The price is totally fair. I'm not saying it's like poorly priced. I'm just whining because it's
not
like
what
half.
You wanted.
It's like half the price of a Kiki. But if you're just looking at clowns,
it's cool
I could get a really badass. I could get a really badass clown male for $3,500 as a pickup male. But Kiki really is my priority. So should I sacrifice in genes so that all G stripes that he's breeding are G stripe visuals het clown? And I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't know what the right answer is. Because I know I do want a Kiki. I don't necessarily want to wait around and make my own, because that's another year or two at least, and I would need some kind of double het or visual het. And then I have to have a 66% prove out in order to hit my own Kiki.
Is there a cheaper clown that isn't any other genes but is het G stripe male that's from 2021?
Yes,
just so
there
that
is.
You saved the money and not had pastel in it, and you could still at least have the recessive part, but have the good genes come from the females.
Never mind, I lied. It's sold.
Oh, dang it! Should you have bought it?
The straight clown. I really didn't want a straight clown. I want the black pastel. I think that's a good gene. Yeah, and if I'm plugging him in, I know, but if I'm plugging him into the enhancer project,
right? Yeah, listen, to me it would have been fine, right? But if you were like at that price point, you should be happy and not fine, probably. So if the pastel was enough to dissuade you.
But I felt that way about the Kiki, and then I kicked myself for 3 months. So I have buyer's remorse over a different snake, and it's clouding my judgment. Because I'm looking at it and I'm going, no, that's not really what I want. I don't really want to put a bunch of pastel into my Kiki project.
The reverse of that, like glad buyer's remorse when I didn't get the blackhead clown because he was pastel. Because he had no other redeeming value. And pastel makes blackhead look like shite in clown.
What I'm trying to say is the fact that my Kiki project is also playing into enhancer. Is the pastel okay to have in a male?
Yeah.
Or should I continue to follow my rules of no pastel in a male?
Well, here's my question.
It's like you wouldn't get a male that has spider.
Do you want a Kiki first, or do you want a Kiki enhancer first? Like, what is more important to you first?
A Kiki, a triple recessive is much harder to hit.
No, I just mean like which project is the one you're worried about first? Because it's not like
The
pastel isn't already in half of your shit anyway. So you'll get pastel in your enhancer.
Yes, I have
Anyway.
pastel for my enhancer.
So if you wanted to keep it out of
I
your
have a
clown for the time
pastel
being, then
G-stripe just
that's
for
fine.
the enhancer. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
bet you that
okay.
little chicken nugget was born in December too. So it wasn't like he was like,
It was first posted in November,
okay, he was born in
so probably like
October.
September, October probably. Yeah. Dang it. So he probably won't even be ready anyway.
Probably not. But
I wish I'm having buyer's regret. I should have bought a second clown when we were crying about it in August.
mm-hmm.
I know. I know.
Uh,
You told me to.
I'm not in charge.
Nobody wanted to let me have one that I could test.
I just
So
thought maybe worst case scenario, you could sneak onto Morph Market, get a $500 like vanilla clown or something like that's a year old, and so like that would be your backup. It's not a great clown. They probably would let you test it because they'd be happy you're taking it off their hands.
I like vanilla and vanilla screams.
Oh, I do too. But I'm just saying, like,
the gene that I'm happy with. That doesn't make me
but
sad.
it's not an expensive clown, and there are a bunch of them that were
I'm not looking for like a yellow belly
sitting with their original producers Morph Market from the year before.
Yeah.
So like, if you got something like that, it wouldn't be so expensive. You're like, ugh. But then would definitely be like your backup, and he could start taking locks from the banana.
He's, I don't know what to do with him. I need to take some pictures of him and send it to you.
Is he just feeling sleepy, wimpy?
He's still locking. He just isn't eating. And I had the incident of I had given him a hide because he had decided he didn't want to eat. And then he ate after I gave him the hide, but he's only eating live. And I threw in a live and I looked and I don't know if it was like hiding behind the house because I lifted the hide and stuff. And I was like, oh, good, you ate. And I flipped down this little like check for the live guy. And I came in, 2 or 3 days later to do like a check for poop and water change. And he had gotten the daylights chewed out of him by the little rat that I had left.
Yeah, it happens.
Always a terrible experience. And so I got him all patched up and was doing his soakings and putting on his cream, and he shed. He looks great. Like, isn't even like, it was just like a lot more minimal than I thought it was. And he ate. No live. Don't give this boy live ever again, probably. And that was it. Now he hasn't eaten since. He'll breed. And he was eating great in the off season. So for like 6 months, I was feeding him and I was giving him weans. So he was eating great. And he went from like 600 grams to like 900 grams. But now he's like, I don't know, 825 or something ish. He just looks really skinny because he's gotten a lot longer than he was when I got him. And so he looks really skinny, like not bone showing skinny. Anyway, I'm worried.
He probably has a month or two left where then you really should pull him if he doesn't eat. Like my leopard, for no reason, no rat incident, nothing happened. He just was an overthinker or worker or whatever. So even though he only had 4 females, he lost weight very quickly. Went off food within 3 months, and then I gave him a 2-month deadline, and then I pulled him because he had lost probably 100 grams or something. I'm just guessing because I have no idea what he lost. But he lost enough that I pulled him. But he still sired his clutches. My females start ovulating like next month, then lay eggs in May, June, July. So they start ovulating now too.
But he's got a bunch of like
stuff that hasn't even started developing
and unproven hets and 2020 girls that I haven't even given to him yet because I'm like he already has 5, 6 girls, and then I have like 4 more on his list that I'm like, well, what do I do with these girls? But they're all like het clowns, and I have nothing else to give them to, and I need to prove out them. And I have a sugar het clown, and I have a Mojave Leopard double het clown pied, but I don't really want to put them to an unproven het, if that makes sense.
Right. It would be harder to be certain if it doesn't pan out that it wasn't just odds.
Right. And I want to be certain because I plan on having nicer males in the future that I want to use with these girls or with my clown pied or, other things. And I don't know what to do. I feel like his whole leg of the breeding triangle is collapsing. I mean, it's not dire or anything. He's totally fine. I just don't
Well, your
want to
2020
overdo
girls
it.
might not have gone this year anyway. Do they have follicles?
None of them have follicles yet, and some of them I haven't even done first locks. So they're still virgins, which is nice if I decide to put them elsewhere.
You could shelve them until later, like when the clown pied is old enough or whatever. Just be like,
Well, he's only 200. He's only a 200-gram chicken nugget, even though he's from August.
Right, but you could just be like, y'all are shelved. If you build follicles, just reabsorb them. You're going to receive clown pied semen demons. Congratulations.
Okay.
So, like, me looking at my 2020s right now, holy schmackerel, like 70% of them are off food. There's only follicles in maybe 5 of them.
But they're all off food?
Yep. Not like off food because they're full of eggs. They're off food because they're tired
Because they're
of
butt heads?
wintertime. I even turned the heater up. I was like, is it getting too cold in here at night or something stupid? No. So they're fine. They're just like doing that thing they do this season before they're going to go where they all go off food, even though they're not that full.
That's confusing the crap out of me. She went early last year, like nowish, and went off food the exact same time as she did last year. And if I didn't have an ultrasound, I would think she was building and going to ovulate soon. But I ultrasound her and I'm seeing like nothing. So I don't know if I'm like not doing her. I mean, I ultrasound a lot of snakes, so I don't think I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. She's off food. She's acting exactly how she acted last year, and yet the ultrasound is showing nada cakes.
She might be. I haven't ultrasound the Mystic, but I think the Mystic is in the process of reabsorbing because she was off food, not eating. You know, when they're reabsorbing, they're using their follicles for energy.
Right.
So they just don't.
Oh, that's true.
They won't. They'll like half build a 10 millimeter or a 15 millimeter follicle, and then they'll be like, meh, just kidding. And then they'll reabsorb for like a month or month and a half, and then they'll go back on food.
That's fair.
Might be what's happening, and you just didn't catch them when they were little because it happened over a period of a month. She built for a month, then she changed her
Right,
mind.
and I check like every 6 weeks.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that's what's happening, but that's what it could be happening. So I have snakes like all over the place in terms of desire.
She has snakes. Hot take.
Desire to eat or looking like they're going to breed. Like, so I don't know ball pythons. I'm just like, if you have big follicles, you get more locks. If you're not doing anything, you're not eating, you're not getting any more locks. I'm just going to wait until you decide you want to eat again, whatever decisions you're making internally. This is what makes me want to like not get rid of older females. You know, people will buy $3,000 females. And they're like, I'm going to be a breeder in 3 years. I'm like, are you? Are you?
Are you going to be?
4 years, maybe 5 years. Because that Xanthic I have, not breeding, not building follicles.
She didn't go last year either.
Nope. She'll eat, every 3 weeks or something. And then she mostly just wants to come out and play. And she'll accept locks all day. What a whore. All day. You want a lock? Excellent. You want a lock? Great. You want a lock? Give me that D. That's what she says. Doesn't do anything about it.
She is practicing birth control and free choice.
She's pulling out all over the place. And I'm getting her multiple males, and it's so it's not like the males aren't viable or whatever. She's had all of them.
Right. She's had them all.
She just doesn't give a fuck. So
you watch, she'll end up parthoing or something.
Yeah, or something stupid. So that's why I'm like, the people who only buy baby females that are high end, that is a bold ass move.
Yes,
to
it is.
me, because
May or
you
may
could be
not
waiting
breed.
4 or 5 or 6 years. Whenever they start going, that's good. That's a good time. But by the time that female even breeds, the whole price range might have dropped dramatically. So every time I see a female cypress clown, I'm like, damn, it's beautiful, $5,000. But I ain't spending money
They
on
are
it. I'd rather go
so
buy a male
beautiful.
cypress clown combo, because at least
Yes.
he'll be doing something between now and
Forever.
the end of days when
The end
Armageddon
of the
starts.
days. Oh, it's hard.
Potentially, or all these 2020s will magically decide to go automatically because they're all 1,400 grams,
I
1,500 grams.
would love. So I am no longer in any Patreons, and I know that Miguel's been teasing his Patreon, how he's talking about his whole breeding setup and how he goes about it and all that stuff. And I need to ask around somebody that's still in it, and I'm curious if he addresses the fact that he dropped a number on not on Facebook, on one of his YouTube videos about how most of his 2020s or most of his 18-month-olds go.
I thought he said some of his.
In his recent
I didn't watch anything recent, but like in the past, he said some of them go and some of them don't go. But
in his recent one, he said, "Oh yeah, most of these girls go." So maybe he just misspoke.
yeah, I would. I have no idea. I don't know anything about anything, but I just know who has follicles right now based on one lock, and most of them do not have follicles based on one lock. They're happy, just kind of sort of not eating and just hanging out right now. They're not pushing. They're not like mad that they're in there. They're not losing weight, but they're just in some sort of like hormonal like teenage phase, which matches what other people have said about a female at maturation. She'll go off food not because, I don't know, she's been overfed or something. It's just
like going through the ghost motions.
Right, of the next year's breeding cycle. So that's fine.
I have some of my 2020s that I don't have pulled out for breeding that are like food response like a gravid female or a 20 plus millimeter female. I haven't even ultrasounded them, but they're like taking my hand off. And they're like little chicken nuggets, like 900 grams. I'm like, what are you doing flying out of your tub? Get back in there and eat your dinner.
Yeah, so like a lot of the ones that are really big now of mine were doing that 3 months ago. Like
really interesting. Psychotic.
Okay, and I'm like, well, you're 1,200 grams, 1,300 grams, gaining 100 grams a month right now. So
wow.
I'll lock you.
I think that's what mine are doing. Yeah,
and see what you want to do.
So those are the ones I need to be given a lock to, unless they're going to the clown, and then they're just out of luck.
Some of them are still eating and growing follicles, and some of them aren't, and some of them are eating and not growing follicles. So it's all over the place. I have no correlations here, and there's only 2 maternal lines that are growing follicles: Snicket's daughters and Prong's daughters. The daughters of other females are not growing follicles, even at the same weight. Fun fact.
They've got good genes, man.
Yeah, I love Snicket's has my favorite head, which is the weirdest thing to say out loud.
That's not weird at all.
Context.
Yeah, well, no one else knows what we're talking about, but I'm like, yeah, I totally
get. She gives perfect head. I said every time.
Every time. My little black pastel spider clown, she's got the bulldog face, and I'm just like, ugh. You're not gonna make the cut, sister. Mm-hmm. I like it when their faces don't explode out like that.
I like a sort of boa-ish head, which sounds weird, but a longer, wider head where the eyes are symmetrical and the snout doesn't push down at all. It's perfectly flat with the top, and the snout is still like ball python-y shaped, but it's like balanced with the rest of the head. I've seen them like too narrow or too fat, like a bulldog.
I don't like the fat ones.
Or they have a little bit of a slopey chin, or they're not shark mouth, but it's like almost shark mouth or something.
Yeah.
There's absolutely an ideal conformation to a ball python's head, which sounds insane to say out loud, but to me, for sure, I see quality and I see.
Yeah, I don't like that one's face.
Apparently this podcast went on forever. So, next week...
And we didn't talk about what we were supposed to talk about again, which was ship your reptiles. But that's okay, because we're not shipping this week anyway. Wait, are you shipping this week?
No. Well, I might have one that's going to North Carolina, and Memphis is still warmish.
Where was the alert for? It says national service disruption in Memphis.
Right, for last week. Because they didn't have enough...
oh my God, it's the 23rd. I totally thought this was wrong.
They don't update it until
I'm
weekdays.
sorry, guys. I'm still on COVID time. Which means my kid's birthday is this week, and I better get to the 6-year-old magic, because normally I have everything done by now.
Yikes.
Oopsies. Chatting about nothing. I mean, unless the audience hates that, feel free to message me on Instagram.
We didn't chat about nothing. We did ball python market predictions.
Oh, that's true.
That's the title.
And then we talked about whether you should buy a halfway male because your male of choice is not available, which sucks.
Yeah, so that's the hardest question, I think.
He's also not going to be ready for like a freaking forever. So not having a 2021 visual clown male chicken nugget in backup, that was a 2021 mistake of the year.
I think if you didn't want to buy just like a vanilla clown, a fire clown, a yellow belly clown, like a cheaper clown that didn't have pastel in it that was still very tolerable genetic makeup as a backup, you should just use your sugar het clown. I know it's not ideal, but you know he's negative. He's already here. He's not being breeding to that many things. Is that correct?
What about my Mojave Leo?
Or him too.
Double het. I was thinking about using him.
Yeah.
Because het pied, I might be able to see it.
Yes.
And if something is clown het pied as a bonus, like, that's not terrible. But I don't really want to use that one in the Kiki pairings, and I can't really do a Kiki pairing. Like, that has to just be with a het. The hets that I'm trying to sort out.
Those are not ideal in any way. But if the choice is go buy an adult breeder of a cooler variety that's $2,000 and you have no guarantee because you can't find one from someone, so you have to like roll the dice. That's not that fun. But
yeah,
it's a $500 vanilla clown. That's
I love a vanilla clown.
Since he's a little baby or like last year's baby, probably hasn't bred. That would be cool. Yellow belly clown.
I sent you a couple.
Yeah, any of those are cool. I thought about it too as like a replacement for the banana pastel het pied as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting a $500 one of those. But
Geez, do you want my money? Are you keeping him? Or is he backing up what's his butt?
He is backing up what's his butt. Now, because what's his butt?
Yucko food again?
What's his butt?
Does he have a name?
Yeah, it's Bane, but it doesn't matter.
That's a good name.
Lives in
the bane of your existence, except for he's actually the light of your eye. The apple of your eye.
So he's doing great, but he's not doing as good as last year. I always find females that do like a lot of work one year sort of take a break-ish the next year. Like they seem like he's still courting and locking and he's still eating, but he's not eating every week. He's eating every other week. And last year he ate every week like clockwork, but he was also still growing last year because he came into the year 700 or 800 grams, got to 1,200 grams or something through the breeding season. So this year he's like very interested in breeding, less interested in eating because he's basically full grown.
Like, screw the rat crap, give me the girls.
Right, but I need him to not lose so much weight that he has to be pulled like the leopard was last year. And he wasn't last year because he was basically doing like half time with the banana perfectly, but he still caught every clutch by himself somehow. Super swim. I don't know.
That's freaking amazing.
So I've started using the banana, who was also off food for a while because he was just too full. I fed him too much last summer, but is now eating like every other week.
And still has never bothered to clutch for you.
Yeah, he's just like, also a fluffer apparently. Just getting her ready for the GHI clown to come in and take her to Pound Town.
I'm just a spot holder.
Right.
He's like the butt stand-in.
But the GHI clown spent a lot of time like breeding het clown 2020s like the first time. But now that I know which ones have follicles and which ones don't, I don't necessarily need to give
get all
him
of them.
15 more locks a month or whatever
Holy
could have
crap.
been happening.
Right. Yeah,
Right,
that's what I'm worried.
2020 females or something that's crazy like that.
Well, that's really crazy. I have like 10 listed under my clown right now. And well, like I said, I've only put them to like 5. I just worried in general because it was a big thing to happen to him resource wise, to have to go through shed early. He shed twice in a row and then was totally beautifully fine. But that's a lot of energy and resources, and he wasn't eating that whole time because he was like, I hate all rats because they're mean.
Yeah,
I was
if you
worried
bought
at
a
the beginning
clown
of the
right
season.
now and you were tested him on intake,
And then in like
maybe
2
gave
months.
him 2 months, tested him
Yeah.
again, and then thought you liked the person you bought him from. I've looked at like that yellow belly clown you sent me a couple times because it is a nice looking yellow belly clown.
It is, yeah.
And
You can tell it's yellow belly. You're not like,
the nanny would be
I
cool,
think I
but
see
like
it.
it's kind of
I
expensive.
was looking at the nanny, yeah, but it's not as nice of a nanny clown as I would want for that price. And it's older, so it could be contaminated.
It's been around a bunch, right? So
yeah.
So if it was me,
I'd want it
I would
to be a lot
probably buy
busier.
something cheap, just as like a fluffer male almost. But that maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Because then you're like, you want to go spend your money on a Kiki, not on a non-ideal clown male.
Yeah, no, I don't even want that one. I mean, if it was black pastel clown, we would not be having this conversation. I probably would already bought it.
So would probably everyone else.
But it's
Have you ever
don't.
noticed a black pastel clown costs more than a black pewter clown? Just the single gene.
I have not noticed that, but I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I would pay more for no pastel.
Yeah, I know there are people who I'm friends with who love pastel and clown, and I respect your lifestyle choices. But I don't agree.
Respectfully disagree.
And the market doesn't agree because stuff will sit in a clown that it wouldn't ever dare sit if it didn't have pastel in it. No, I don't know what you should do. I mean, maybe if my stuff, I move and everything reabsorbs follicles, I'll just give you the banana clown or whatever. Fuck it.
Don't tease me. Don't tease me like that. But doesn't he have pastel in him too?
Yeah. But he's 50% het pied, so it's maybe more fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I could definitely.
Any other $500 snake.
Well, if I was making double het clown pieds, I wouldn't be sad about pastel in that.
Yeah, I like pastel.
So he could take. So he could. Yeah, it looks great in pied. So he could take over those pairings and then catch some of the unknown hets. Don't tease me.
I just don't know if his junk even works technically. He tries.
As long as he stimulates follicles, then
right.
Hopefully the banana ensue will come back. And that's the other thing is like, do I really need 10 het pied females all having babies from a banana ensue clown? Like,
are you
what was I thinking?
Het pied females to a banana ensue?
I mean, sorry, het clown. I'm getting a little rummy. No. Does he really need 10 het clown, no gene?
Does he have 10 het clown, no gene females?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I think he has 6.
I don't know.
What was I thinking?
I mean, it's fine. You just didn't buy another clown in the time to give a little bit of variety. At least every male will be banana, and every female at least is a het clown. So female het clowns don't sell for fuck all anything anyway, but they'll at least be het clown. So, you know, their life won't be torture or whatever, wherever they get sold to.
Torture.
I mean, there's female het clowns on Morph Market right now that are $50, like 100% hets. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? They should be $125. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's almost like free for shipping.
Right. I'm like, everyone at home, do not put stuff on Morph Market that's sub $100. It's just not worth it to anybody involved. Sell it at a show, sell it as a pet, like obliterate the het part of it. But a het female is underpriced as it is. Just gouging the market all the way down to like whatever the fuck is not acceptable.
Well, and just feed them for 6 months and
right, sell them for $400 to $600 next spring, and then
that I do not get why people do not understand that. Like I have a whole rack, like 6 het clown girls. I'm probably not going to need all of them, but they're worth more to me sitting in my rack getting fat
than $40
that I may or may not. Yeah,
you pay a box to ship and all the other stuff cost. Yeah, the only way it makes sense to wholesale a bunch of het clown or het pied females or whatever is if you're like, I'm gonna lump 5 of them in a group and sell them like 5 for $100, but you need to buy all of them in this whole group, and I'm already full up as fuck, and so like you're making it a transaction that's worth your time.
Right.
You're moving a bunch at once. Somebody gets a great idea. They're like, cool, you sold me 5 het pieds. I'll buy a visual pied male from you, banana, yellow belly, and then I'll be like my little breeding group. And you've made it for me. Thank you. Whatever.
Yes.
But selling them one at a time for $50 is you're devaluing the whole fucking gene. Sit on them for
you're valuing your own time. Like to sell those individually is crazy.
Right.
It takes so much. Like
cost of production is between $25 and $45 per baby.
Yeah.
So you need the high value individuals in the clutch to make up for the ones that sell at that price. And if you're selling most of your animals at that price, you have a problem. It's called not being financially viable. We got to work on that.
Yeah.
Is that it? Did we do this?
Or please just wholesale them so we don't have to see it in the marketplace.
Right. If you wholesale them as normals, it doesn't bring their price down.
And it actually saves you time and energy, so you're valuing yourself higher. It's higher for everybody.
Right. It's better that they go as a pet.
Like I wholesaled 10 het pied males, no genes, just het breeds those. I got them with the collection that I bought. It's like you don't need nobody anywhere needs 10 het pied males, no genes.
Right. No.
So
they're just
those
normals at this point.
Those went to a pet store where they will find loving pet homes.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you another one. OD Mojave Clown.
Bob's Balls has it's $5,000.
Bob's Balls.
A Cypress Mojave.
I hate your face. I've seen it.
It is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
But it's a 2021.
Yeah, I just like it. I'm just talking about things I like now.
Well, and I like to buy from him. He can have all my money.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel totally good about buying. I should have just started with him and seen where it got me. Most of his I can't afford for like a backup quickie.
Right. That's why I'm thinking you should go at sort of low end. No offense. Just to like give locks to females that are clown and maybe give you like, if you had yellow belly, that would be cool because yellow belly female clowns would be really useful to you.
Yes. Yes, they would. That's what I'm leaning towards. There's the other one that I sent you, the Mojave OD. I don't have any.
Is this one older? No, there's no age.
There's no age.
Be pretty fun. And you're not breeding it to any bell problems? Do you have any bell problems with him?
No bell problems. I don't have any bells in that lineup.
Oh,
but it would give me.
Is this a secret?
What?
He's the guy who owns the grandfather of Bane.
Oh, and so he's testing, or did you sneak test?
I did not sneak test, but it's the grandfather. So this guy sold it to the guy I bought from.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. The yellow belly and the
testing.
OD are both from him.
What?
The yellow belly that I like is also from him.
Oh, the yellow belly clown?
And the yellow belly clown and the OD Mojave clown are both from Image Reptile.
Yeah, I think either of those would be fun. I guess you have to decide which, A, if you test, and B, which one you think will work with your project better. Like in the females or whatever. Does that make sense? Like which females do you want more of which gene combo? That's how I would pick probably.
So what you're saying is I'm buying the yellow belly.
Am I saying that?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I guess because you are running like highway stuff. Like, Mojave OD is like a really cool combo without clown. No offense, clown version, but it's not my favorite clown version. I prefer Mojave.
It looks like butt and clown, but I was thinking that the non-het babies would sell well. I mean, the non-visual babies.
I bet they would because they look really cool. I don't know what the hell happened.
Whereas
with Mojave
a yellow belly all by itself doesn't sell any better than a normal.
No, it doesn't. No. Yeah, 100%. But a yellow belly clown probably will make your life more interesting. Female holdback for the future, more powerful than a Mojave clown female. Because it sinks in with your gravel stuff right away.
But I mean, those are the ones where most of the babies are going. Anything that's not visual is probably going. Because I'm just trying to prove out those girls.
Right, but would you rather have yellow belly clown females to hold back, Mojave clown females to hold back, or OD clown female?
Yeah, yellow belly.
Yeah, so Mojave in OD would be fine. Totally good. Great. Excellent. But I think yellow belly is less. So what I'm saying is don't worry about how saleable the babies are because you're going to have 400 male bananas too.
You know, I bred like half of my males were banana last season, and I got like 4 bananas the whole season.
You just had a bum male. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I know.
I also have a bum male.
Who is also banana.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it.
But my banana tri-sprite's been doing pretty good.
So, good. Is he going to anything like cinnamony or black pastel-y? Because black pastel or cinnamon tri-stripe is hot.
He's doing black pastel. I have a cinnamon banana.
It's hot. Do you see pastel. The GHI tri-stripe?
Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's almost the GHI is just like the perfect gene, probably.
I do not contest that. It is kind of magical. I kind of want it in everything.
Yeah, so he has stuff, and I have female bananas that are breeding other stuff. And I have, obviously, the banana clown that doesn't ever sire anything. And then I have the baby banana clown that hopefully sires something.
He's a good place. He's a good fluffer.
You would think I'd be more into banana, given how much banana I have. And I do really like banana, but...
I love banana. I think every male should have banana that's a breeder, because then it just makes things so much easier to sell when they're male. And banana.
And that's true when you're selling low and mid-end stuff. It feels like it starts to fall apart when you're like, my $5,000 Pompeii is banana.
Oh, that would be sad.
I know. Can you imagine?
Like that pastel Pompeii makes my heart hurt.
Makes every part of my body want to flee this life. All right, I think we did it. Next week we might be on topic.
No more topics for us. I think we've reached the 15th episode. We can just talk about whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe what we should do is start with the topic and then devolve into current events, because then at least we'll have finished off by the time we get there.
Yeah, which I think that's excellent.
Yeah. And this wasn't even a big topic, so if we ever actually started talking about it, we probably would have been done. But we're too busy bitching about bananas and male clowns whose wieners don't work anymore and whatever else.
He's still locking. I literally think he would breed himself to death if I let him, and I don't want to because I would like him to stick around and breed for me. But I gave him a really big lineup, and I've still only given him to half of his lineup, and I'm like, oh, dude, you looking like you're losing weight already, and it's only January.
Right.
I had my males. My males bred until the end of May, for the majority of them.
Yeah.
So
like the ones that go on to ovulate in June or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that.
I had like a 2-part season, so I did give them a month off in the middle and got everybody back on food and stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, the way that I've got it, because I'm using the ultrasound, is I want him to be breeding for the next 6 months. I only have him breeding like every 2 weeks, and he's still not eating. So I think I'm going to have to pull him.
Unless we know somebody. If there's a local person with a cool adult male clown, so Jana could save on shipping. Because that
I should ask.
Like if
I
it's
should ask
$400
the
or
local boys group.
$500 or whatever, like
Yeah.
spending it $80 on shipping and the test, you've already like eaten up half the price of the animal at that point. But maybe somebody has something floating around that was their backup that doesn't, they don't need, because they know for sure that.
Yeah, I wish Morph Mechanics would sell me his GHI Fire Clown.
Why would he sell you that?
He wouldn't. He uses it. He's got like
he's using it right now.
8 girls. He's got like 8 girls going to it or something, and I'm just like, I heart your GHI Fire Clown. That's a nice male.
I should have some of those.
I've planned poorly. I know. I hope so. I'm gonna get one
with black pastel on them. It's hard to be like, yeah, go out and buy an adult male. Ugh. Gross. Let's be sick. But you might need to, and this, to me, like, the more ideal one would be literally like, fuck, I'll go get adult male, but I don't know if he's even going to want to breed because he was moved or whatever. And I'll maybe do a 3-month quarantine, but I'll back up the ones that really need locks with the leopard or whatever and just hope for the best and see who sires it. Because you'll know. Your leopard Mojave double hit clown pied. Let him be the backup. I know it's not as ideal. Nothing's ideal. Life fucking sucks. Pookie sucks.
I'd have to sell any normals as 66 instead of 100.
Right, you just wholesale them basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might do that anyway. So yeah, it's not a terrible plan. Maybe I'll do that. But I also don't want to give him 4 het clown females.
Right,
I was planning on selling them,
per se. But while you're waiting for whatever, if your banana is giving it up, if someone needs a lock, you can give 2 of them to the Mojave because the other ones aren't developing follicles as quickly as the yellow belly goes through quarantine or whatever. If somebody's developing quickly and needs a lock because they were at 10 and now they're at 20 and they missed their 17 millimeter lock, you're like, fuck, give them the leopard. Who cares? She might not even use his semen anyway. Who knows? But at least she's got the attention. But if your females aren't even developing follicles, I would just not pair any of them and just wait.
What do I do about the girls
comes around?
That have got
no locks?
That are like 20 to 25 millimeters that have locked twice with the banana? Into clown visual. I don't want to throw in something not visual, but they need at least one more lock.
They should have one more lock. They don't need one more lock.
So don't mess with those ones. Just leave them.
Probably not. I'd probably use the banana's last 2 locks, like stop locking him with anything and save those last 2 locks for them.
Okay.
Like, don't lock them ahead of time, but be like, okay, she's at 28. Cool. Last lock. And so he can do 2 more locks with the ones that are really big and are definitely going. Or your yellow belly gets here and is clean and has quarantine time in time for them to do that. Because they don't always...
We didn't even talk about how Morph Market changed the way that they look.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. And they're still rolling out more features.
I hate it. I hate the way that when you click on their store, how it pulls it up. I don't like the way it looks.
Wow. Strong words.
Sorry, we're supposed to be done.
Jana. I thought
I don't like it.
Different, but fine. I didn't dislike any part of it.
I don't like change.
Jana just doesn't.
Change sucks.
Morph Market's Kenobiing Jana and she doesn't like it.
I don't like change. I'll be fine. It'll be fine.
No, I'm excited about their not for sale part of the stuff. Supposedly that stuff's rolling out in the next couple of months. So like we'll be seeing it, like big changes. That'll be the shit. The shit, ladies and gentlemen. Because I'm excited to be like, look, here's a frost boa, the brother, and here's a fire hypo het anery. This is what you can make with this. And so it'll be right there beside it, the sibling, all the time. Big ovaries feelings is what I have for that. Yeah.
All right. Well, we better end it. We're drifting far, far, far down the rabbit hole. And now I'm shopping while podcasting.
That's okay.
I don't feel like you have my focus anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm
She's
trying
already
to say.
buying a snake right now. Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop.
I'm not buying any snakes in 2022. Remember?
Oh, it's okay.
Remember when Jessica laughed heartily and was like, "Do you think you're going to be able to do that? I don't think you're going to be able to do that."
Just try to buy stuff that not necessarily is just a good deal, but is also perfect for your collection, I guess is my advice. Like, if it's going to be all worth the risk. Like, I wouldn't have bought the pastel clown, even if it's cheap or whatever, and an adult female clown, because I don't think it's perfect for my collection. I'm tired of buying snakes that are, they're kind of good, but, I want stuff that's
premium,
more cool from the beginning. And that's...
Yeah, but I could also, once I test her, if I decide I don't want to keep her, I can also sell her on Morph Market for
more. Yes. I know.
3 times more than I paid.
I know. It's just like a mindset. I'm trying to get into the mindset of I don't need to go get stuff unless it's really good and awesome. I don't need to flip stuff or look for stuff. I just don't care.
I know. I was trying to get out of that mindset, but it called me back for a minute. I'll blame it on COVID.
Okay.
I can't really blame all the snakes on COVID, but the Calico G-stripe, there was no talking me out of that. I wanted it really bad.
Right. It's fine. It's all fine. I'm just saying.
All gonna be fine. I know. I hear
what
you.
I'm doing now is like
gonna blatantly ignore you.
Yeah. Less, more expensive, younger animals, even from my testing friends, just so that they're like, what comes in is not just, and for the stuff we can't test for, right? Whatever. It's just younger, so it has less exposure, risk mitigation, and maybe when we move to Oklahoma, I'll start like a second ball python collection that is just internally produced babies, and they won't mix anymore. I haven't done that here, but that's my dream, to have 2 collections.
That's what I would like to do, is have one that I've produced.
Mm-hmm. It's hard with that because you're like, I want to breed my holdbacks to my like best male or whatever, but just like make the decision, be like, from now on, all my holdbacks live over here, and everything externally.
I'm building a glorious future with these guys. Yes,
the holdback rack ethos completely dominated into reality.
That'll be amazing.
Yeah, I think that's
Character that's the ultimate dream.
Has 2 collections, and that's part of why. Also, like, it's a fire safety mitigation thing. If one of them dies or something happens,
business protection.
Yeah. So, and it just has the byproduct of being like, it's also good for making sure the disease can't get everything if something terrible were to happen and sneak in. All right, we did it.
Did we do it? I'm not quite sure on that one.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Life is full of mysteries.
Very full of mysteries. If you are listening and you made it through all the rambling crap and Jessica doesn't bother to cut this part out,
we'll see.
Let us know if we made it. You can contact me on Instagram at ASM Royal Tails, and you can contact Jessica. Can we contact you this week?
Yes?
Sure,
yeah.
No. It's in full moving mode and may not want to be your friend this week.
I'm like struggling with my lack of chickens, which is weird to say out loud. I'm just a little bit depressed. I was like, where are all my chickens? They're all
her friends are gone.
I don't have any friends. So the last of them got picked up, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Where are my priorities? I don't have any chickens. This is unacceptable. All right. Bye. See you next week. Could be a special episode. We'll see. And maybe we'll talk about shipping, but we'll talk about it first.
Maybe. Yeah, that's a good plan. I agree.
All right, bye. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.